And in my speech today, I want to discuss the benefits and disadvantages of precision agriculture, as well as the multitude of other conservation options available to our ag producers today. When we talk about precision agriculture, we usually think about new technology being integrated into farming and ranching to make our ag producers more efficient and profitable. There are many advantages associated with this. Tractors are using GPS or global positioning systems to drive themselves. We're using soil tests and other automated equipment to decide how much seed, fertilizer, and chemical to put down in certain areas of a field. Ranchers are even using drones to check their cattle and monitor plant height and health in their pastures. However, there are some very important disadvantages to this technology. The greatest disadvantage is the cost. For many small and medium-sized operations, they simply do not farm enough acres or run enough animals to cover these expenses. This is because not only do you have to have the software on your home computer to analyze the data collected, but your entire fleet of equipment, from the tractor to the combine, has to have the onboard technology to collect the data in the first place. Another important disadvantage of precision agriculture is how time-consuming it is. Your operation may require another part-time person in order to analyze the data you collect and decide how to apply it to your operation. The third and final disadvantage I want to discuss is the time commitment. It may take several years from the time you first purchase the equipment to when you can actually get your money's worth out of it, because you have to be able to average a few years of data in order to get some accurate results. This is because things like rainfall change so much from year to year that you have to have a few years put together in order to get some results you can use. However, this doesn't mean you have to have expensive, high-tech equipment to make your operation more conservative. For example, farmers can look at their crop rotation schedules and use 3 or 4 crops instead of 1 or 2. They can reduce their tillage use to keep the soil less compacted and more moisture available. They can make use of cover crops to keep important nutrients abundant in the soil. Farmers might also do well waiting a few years, as technology often gets far cheaper a few years after it's first introduced. Farmers and ranchers can work together with practices like putting livestock on previously harvested crop ground, like corn stalks. The feed source is valuable to the rancher, while the manure as fertilizer and the hoof action is valuable to the farmer. Ranchers alone can try practices like intense grazing, where a large group of animals are placed in a small paddock of land for a short amount of time, wherein the paddock is totally grazed. After this period, the animals are moved to the next paddock, and the first one is left at rest for the remainder of the grazing season. If intense grazing is not an option, more closely monitoring plant height and health can be very important to ranchers because they can keep their pastures in better condition and ready for next year. Thank you for listening to my presentation today. Do you have any questions?